Okay, as always, like, I didn't figure out the lighting beforehand, but this is, like, really dark. And, I've already, like, stolen most of the light bulbs off the first floor, which is what I do, whenever the lights burn out, like that one is. But instead of being a responsible adult, yeah, I, like, take the light bulbs out and I switch them in places. And I already tried that one, to, like, take that light bulb and put it over here. Although it looked a lot worse. So I would rather be dark than you see, like, my, like, orange shiny face from doing stuff all day and not taking a shower at night. So here we are. Oh wait, there's a closet right here, hold on. And if I turn the light on, then okay, that's slightly better, but the door just fell shut, so it's falling shut in the process of. Okay, wait for it. And I wedged a t-shirt that was actually not wrinkled under there, but, you know, it happens. So I wanted to make this video because I came out to the last person in my life who, well, of course, like, she's, like, blind to, pretty socially blind, I guess, is one way to put it, but, my Mormon friend, who I've referred to before as Locker Buddy, yesterday I told her because a lot of things are going on right now, and, with, like, the prom coming up, there was a conflict, because, like, people were getting upset about something that I wanted to do to make myself happy, and I was, like, I tried to talk myself down from, like, being this much of an ass that, like, I needed to, like, bring it up, but, I, like, just really tried to get myself to, like, be cooperative with it and everything, with other people's wishes, but, I really, like, I don't know how to explain this. I mean, it was a very, like, dick move on my part for, me to do what I did, which is, like, try to, like, go against the people at my table's wishes, for my own sake, but at the same time, like, I was really nervous about prom, and I, like, thought it was going to be horrible, and I, like, was scared about being, like, in the big room of people, and something that I was, like, really not comfortable in, and I just really didn't want to deal with that, and, I know it's, like, weak of me and everything, because this surface level issue that, like, led to, like, me coming out to her, is really, it shouldn't have been as big of a deal as it was, but, we got past it because I'm an ass, and I had this conversation with her, but, okay, well, now I'm going to tell you about it, so, like, I don't know why I'm trying to, like, preface it, I guess because I wanted to talk more about how I told my Mormon friend that I was gay, and, like, her reaction to it and everything. Although, just to start off, like, the surface level issue that led to, like, this conflict, which then led to me coming out, was that, everyone wanted me to wear a prom dress, and, of course, I hate wearing dresses, but, like, I really, really hate wearing dresses, and the last time I was in a dress at, like, I think it was one of my cousin's weddings or something, like, I just feel really uncomfortable in them, and I don't know, like, I guess, the best way to describe it, how I told her was that, sorry, I got distracted, there's a thing over there, but, was, like, whenever I wear a dress in public, it's kind of like how, like, most of them, like, would feel if they were to wear a men's suit in public, and, when I, like, put it in that way, like, my friend understood more, but, it was two of my friends wanted me to wear a dress, although I'm uncomfortable wearing a dress, so I had this conversation with her, because I told her that I really wanted to wear a suit to the prom just so that I could be more, like, relaxed and, like, less nervous than I just already will be, because I don't like things like the prom, and my friends, like, wanted, like, everyone to go to it, so it was just my way of, like, trying to motivate myself to, like, go there and have a good time, even if it's going to be forced and stuff. But, like, I know that, like, once I get there, if I'm, like, well, wearing something that I like, I'll be more likely to be, like, more comfortable. And I hate, like, the dancing and stuff, and, like, it's uncomfortable to, like, watch people that are, like, in my, like, English class and the one in the afternoon, to, like, be grinding on some chick, and, like, it's but I'm going to bring my, like, Cards Against Humanity game there, because a lot of my friends do agree with me on that point, that, like, none of us really like the whole, like, dance thing. So we're playing cards, and, like, it's going to be, like, a bunch of their like, boyfriends and girlfriends and stuff like that, and yeah. But the conversation that I had with my Mormon friend was about, like, the suit thing, but as I was thinking about it, I knew I was going to have the conversation with her yesterday. I was planning out what to say, because I told her at 10 a.m. that I needed to talk to her. I told her that in person because I was, like, it was just a bad day, and she could tell that, like, I had a lot on my mind, because, I don't know, when I do, I guess I get, like, a little bit more withdrawn from people, but I was glad that, like, she kind of, like, brought that up, so that I was, like, forced to, like, acknowledge that I needed to, like, have a conversation with her. And so then she asked me in the afternoon through text if I wanted to study psych later, because we have our AP Psych exam on Monday, like, the AP exam for, like, college credits and stuff like that. So we really haven't studied at all, but we keep having these, like, study sessions, which is just like, oh, come over, we'll, like, screw around and we'll go to Starbucks or something. So I basically invited her to my house for, like, one of those just, like, sitting there and, like, talking sessions with our psych notes on the table. So that was something. My voice sounds, like, really weird, so I'm gonna get my drink real quick. And yeah, sorry. I don't know why I didn't think to bring it over before the video starts, but, you know. Oh, I didn't even open it. Yep, that's professional. Well, that's walking across my bed, but cool. I forgot where I was. Oh, okay, yeah, so we were going to have this, like, discussion after school, and I had to drop off my friend. I don't know if I've given her a new name. I still call her Aphrodite in my journal, I think, because of, like, my whole, like, middle school thing where I had, like, a crush on her and everything. Okay, yeah, so we dropped her off, and then in the car, like, because I told her that I wanted to talk to her one-on-one about it, and I told her that, like, Aphrodite already knew, and as soon as she got, like, out of her house, Aphrodite, that's so uncomfortable to call her, like, out loud. Like, it's a little bit cringeworthy whenever I'm typing it on my computer, but saying it out loud is just, like, nails on a chalkboard. But yeah, sorry about that. So because that probably would make you as uncomfortable as, like, that is to know. I'll get around to renaming her later. But anyway, my friend wanted to talk as soon as the other person left. And so the door closes, and then she says, hi. I was like, okay, like, this was her way of, like, getting into the conversation, but, like, I didn't want her to, because I needed to, like, sit a few more feet away from her, because I thought that like her reaction to me being like, oh yeah, and I'm gay and you're a Mormon, would be like, she'd be like, oh my god, gross, do you have a crush on me? Because um, when I was younger and I told my one friend that lives in like this neighborhood that I'm no longer close with, or even like really friends with, but anyway, that was her reaction. So I figured that because my Mormon friend is less accustomed to, um, she's less accustomed to things like that. Like it's always like the gay kid in our school. I saw the thing on the news about them because she really has never known anyone who is queer, like as a friend or like on a personal level even. Like I thought that her reaction might be a little bit like that, and I was prepared for that. And that's actually like pretty normal for people who don't have much knowledge in the area. So um, I have no idea who you are or who I would like let see this, but like um, if you happen to be queer, my advice to you is to not freak out if someone with little knowledge reacts adversely at first, because everything, you can change people's opinions, um, logic and facts, you know. But yeah, so I expected her to react like that. So I told her that I didn't want to tell her until we got to my house. Although, because like we've been friends for a while and everything, whenever I tell her that like I need to tell her something later, and I hate when people do this to me too, so I like try not to do it, but it just happened to come up like in that conversation. I mean, in that topic. This is 17. Oh no, I've been talking for 12 minutes. I'm like stuttering because like I'm not thinking very quickly. I'm tired. So, and I got a text from Kira. Fuck that, never mind. Kira's my mom's name. Okay, sorry. I need to like put that out of like my arm's reach. But she has a tendency to, whenever I say I need to talk to her about something later, she like keeps like pushing and pushing to like no right now, because she's a very thoughtful person, and if she gets genuinely concerned about something, then she won't let it go. And that's normally a good quality of hers. But I just kept saying like in vague terms like, oh, you like really will want to hear this later, is it something like significant, it's not like a one line toss off thing, like I'm going to need to explain, so I want us to be sitting down and like just like prepare yourself to like hear this. So then her next line is, are you dying? And I like that was when it hit me that like it was really wrong of me to tell her earlier in the day like I need to talk to you, because she like spent all that time like worrying and getting herself worked up. She struggles with like has an anxiety disorder, so I like thinking back on this, she'd definitely been like running it through her mind like all day, like okay, well what's the worst possible scenario that this could have like warranted this thing needing to happen. So, I apologized profusely right when she said that, because it's like, oh my god, no, it's nothing like that. It's something that I've just known about myself. It's like a secret kind of thing. In no way medical, no way pertaining to my health. Don't worry, I'm fine. And I am really sorry that I told you earlier that I needed to talk to you, because like I know that wasn't like right. I should have thought that you'd be like, your mind would be running until I did tell you. So after that I tried to like make normal conversation the best I could, although it seemed like she still like was like persisting, like really wanting to know, because that's just human nature. And when we got back to my house, my dad was there, so we went out on the back deck, and it was a nice day, so I liked that it was like outside, because that was going to be a depressing conversation to have, and I don't know, right place, right time. So I really have to like make notes before I like start talking, but this is like good practice for, I don't know. So we're talking about the prom thing, because I like just started off by saying like, okay, so there's a surface level part and a like deeper, like more in-depth part. I'll tell you the surface level thing now. And then I went right into it. And she was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's just a piece of clothing like you said. I have no problem with that. You wear a suit if that's what makes you feel more comfortable. And like I kept saying that it was like really stupid and everything, but she was very understanding, and it was good. And then I went about 3 words into the explanation of how I'm gay, and again, like I tried to like get into that by like saying, like, just I used terms that she was more familiar with, like less polarizing terms. How I phrased the actual thing is that I have had romantic thoughts about girls, is what I said to her for the, instead of I am gay, because I am gay like would elicit like an oh no, oh my god, like panic response, whereas that got my point across, but I sugarcoated it because I knew that it's hard for people to hear if you were raised in an environment that's very adverse to that. Like when I was 11, that was my response too. Like, we're not saying that she's immature, but like just that I like had the same beliefs when I was 11 that she holds now. So I know how like alarming that could be, and she did seem surprised because of course that would be to be expected. Although because I'm a fucking poppycock, I was halfway through like into my first sentence, and then I started crying because I was just I guess I was overwhelmed. Like, I felt so bad that, like, I was possibly, like, ruining, like, this image of me that she's had, because we've been close friends for so long. That, like, one, I told her that Callista and Kira knew this, like, fuck, I just used 2 people's real names. Oh well, nobody's gonna watch this anyway. So, cat's out of the bag. Callista and Kira have known, like, for since as long as they've known me, so I guess, like, that's, like, more general. You don't know who these people are, but that's their names. So, so I started crying a lot, but, like, not dramatically. Like, the tears were happening, but I kept my shit together mentally. And that was embarrassing, but, she texted one of my friends, whose names I mentioned later, saying, like, oh, I hated to see that she was, like, this upset because, whatever, like, she's okay with it. She knows that I can, like, get past it. And, like, I did phrase it that, I told her that I was not at all comfortable with it. And that's halfway true because, I mean, like, it's a weird time in all of our lives. My friends and I, like, we're going off to college, and, well, what happened that, sparked, like, me, like, wanting to come out to her was not the Sue thing, because that's, like, closed sexuality. And yes, there's a correlation between, like, there's some girls like me who look, like, dykey and stuff. Like, that's a stereotype that just happened to be true for me, as much as 10th grade me hates to admit it. So, what it was that, like, led to, was that led to... Oh yeah, me wanting to come out to her. And now I can't even think of it. Wow. Oh yeah, I remember now. What it was that, that made me want to come out to her was, after I broke up with my girlfriend 2 or 3 weeks ago, as I've written about several times. Although, as soon as I broke it off with her, the next day I was, like, sitting in psychology, and I just, like, had this, like, random thought, like, oh, this person in your class is really attractive, and, like, wow, do you have a crush on her? And, the answer was, like, it was yes. I did feel, like, romantic and emotional attraction to her and stuff. I liked her. I'm still putting it in the terms that I would have used for her, but, yeah, and that, like, scared me because even though I really wanted out of the relationship, like, I'd say at least 3 months prior to when I actually, like, grew a pair and broke it off, was, like, all that time, I still, like, focused on, like, okay, so that's just, you have a girlfriend still, you cannot, like, be attracted to other girls because that's inappropriate. Of course, like, I'll find people attractive, or, like, that their personality is great and that I feel like they'd be compatible with me or whatever, but that's not something that you indulge in if you're in a relationship, whether you like that you're in that relationship or not. And the right thing to do at that point is to tell them, like, look, I'm sorry, I don't think that our relationship is working anymore. It's my fault. You have to take responsibility, of course. But don't tell them that it's because, like, don't over-explain, because that makes it so much worse. Which is, I didn't do that with her, which is good, because I'm 17 and I have had, like, other, not serious, but, like, starter relationships, like middle school type relationships, and one of them ended in, like, the other girl explaining to me very in depth why she was leaving me, and that disturbed me, because I was in 9th grade and, like, I hated myself in the first place. So yeah, you just don't do that to people, if you're in high school. I can't speak for adults because I'm not one. I'm 17 for, what, 3 more months? Yeah, here we go. But yeah, as far as I know, that's, like, the way to go about it. Although what I got angry about was that I was so quickly after that, like, realized that I liked someone else. And that I kept beating myself up for, because it really is not something that I intended for to happen. And of course, like, I didn't act on that because that would make me a huge dick to, like, just get out of this relationship with her and a hoe. But to get out of a relationship and then to, like, right in front of her face dive into something else. But the biggest part of, like, why I shouldn't and couldn't is that, but it's followed by the fact that she's Christian and very straight. But yeah, I liked this girl, so of course I had to torture myself about it, and that combined with just that I'm on way too high medicines and stuff like that, that, like, my brain's all weird in the first place, that led to just, like, I don't know, depression, apathy. Well, the antidepressant, that the higher it goes, the more depressed I become, which is to say, like, just neutral, and I don't know. yeah, so it was a snowballing of like a lot of things that were around that same topic. Is this really 25 minutes? Yep, it is. Okay, well. And I really should have talked to someone else, like, before just pouring it on to her, because she's dealing with, okay, so, new prom dress code, and she, like, really is excited about the prom, so that's more significant than it sounds. It sounds silly, but it's important to her, so that was huge. The prom thing, that Kay is gay, and that Kay's a disaster mentally, and here you go. I'm gonna tell it all to you and make you all upset and everything. But I kept trying to like write in my journal for like 4 or 5 days, almost consecutively. I think I wrote, because I was like trying to like get some of this down, but then like I would like start typing and I like wouldn't want to say it, because like if it was down on the paper and like I write it for myself, then like that if I'm not like actually getting anything sorted out, if I'm just telling like the details and like I haven't come to like any kind of like epiphany or anything like that, then it could just... Is that the air conditioner in their garage door? Well, anyway, come on. I have 50% extended time for my AP tests. This is so frustrating. I get like really distracted super easily. Oh yeah, okay, so it was like just things piled up, and then it got strange because for some reason, like whenever the floodgates break, it's usually like I like rant to some like closer friend of mine, one of like the closest 3 that like knows everything that I've overshared to, or like my mother. And it's like ugly, and I don't like cry in front of my friends because I can normally keep my shit together better than that. Although it was, if it wasn't like right after school too, after a shitty day, after a uniform day, which isn't just the only thing that like made it like bad, but yeah, it added to it, then I probably would have like been a lot more normal about it, but I just like fucking broke down, and like I'm sorry that like she had to deal with that, but at the same time, she's a lot more like patient and thoughtful and sensitive than I could ever wish to be. So she was a great person to talk to, despite that her own beliefs are so contradictory to that, because I did say a lot about religious type stuff, because I know that's the angle that she would approach it from, for like what I can do to like help myself about that issue. Although I basically just I didn't like overtly lie. Yeah, I did. I overtly lied, but I did not covertly lie. Which means that I replaced the word like my morals ... with like my faith ... And I was talking about like how like, you know, whatever. I was talking about how something that I can't remember pertained to morals, and that I still strive to be a good person, so just not be a dick, rather than like following the 10 Commandments, following what I think to be right and wrong. despite just that part of my personality that people, or that can be used to describe like a person's overall character. Not so much now, but just because I know that she hasn't known anyone else like that, and I wanted to like put it like more of like an applied sense, how it would pertain to actual life. I can't remember what I was saying again. This is pathetic. But, oh, okay, yeah, and my other two closest friends that is not Noah, I, like, told them, I texted them earlier in that day. One of them was home from school because there was some colossal, like, mess going on in her life, and her boyfriend's being a jerk, so, yeah. And, guess what? She also has issues with anxiety, more than, the Mormon and I do combined, though, like, to a factor of, like, 5. What? My anxiety plus my Mormon friend's anxiety times 5 equals 5K plus 5 Mormon divided by 5. It's a great tip, 20%, and then it's Mormon's anxiety plus K's anxiety. What a tip. I don't even remember what the general topic was, so I'm going to see, oh yeah, no, I remember now. I'm going to see, well, yeah, I started, like, off that sentence, so I need to finish it now. I'm going to see my, my best friend's musical tomorrow night that he's in, and, I mean, he's the understudy, which means I won't get to see him, although I couldn't go to the understudy show because it was on a Wednesday, and it went until 11, and even though I'd be willing to, like, sacrifice sleep for that because he's an amazing, actor and singer, and, he didn't fuck up the dance when I saw it last year, I guess, but, yeah, he's, like, a very talented person, and I wanted to see him in his musical, although my parents are not very cool about going somewhere until 11 on a school night. And I'm property, so what can I do? Which is a cop-out, but, I'm going to see it tomorrow night, and hopefully, well, I'd be a dick to, like, wish something to happen to the other person so he has to, like, perform. But I don't know, maybe the person's car will just happen to, like, run out of gas, or his mom will, like, get all mad and be like, hey, you have to stay home. But yeah, I'm doing that. Fuck, I just poured sparkling water, like, all over the side of my bed. But, okay. So, I had told these other two friends that, like, I was planning on telling my Mormon friend about all that today, yesterday, that day, and the one had been, like, replying to me, like, throughout the day, like, I would send her, like, a long paragraph, a stream of consciousness, like, mental fire, and then she would send back, like, another long paragraph explaining, like, her candid thoughts on, like, what I should do about everything. And through our conversation, I arrived at the thing that I was going to say. Alright, like, I would talk to her about the prom thing and diffuse any more rumors, because she keeps hearing from other people, like, you know that, like, your best friend's gay, right? And what I had been telling her, which is completely, like, wrong of me, was that no, I'm not gay, of course. Like, you know I'm not like that, Hannah. There goes her name. I keep saying everyone's name. Shit. But, because there's no way you'd ever find out their last name, so we're good. But I would like lie to her about that. Although I also addressed that yesterday too. I'm like, listen, I've had these thoughts, but like, gay is just like a big label. It oversimplifies things. It can mean actions and thoughts. Of course, I didn't tell her that like I've actually like done gay actions, including being in a relationship with different girls at different times. But I was honest with her about, like, I didn't want to tell her at first because freshman year I was really uncomfortable with it still, and, like, by that point, it was already, like, a year into, like, knowing her, and there's really no way that's easy to bring that up with someone whose beliefs are that juxtaposed to your own. Oh, yeah, and especially whenever she, hadn't been through like all of high school yet. Like, we have 22 days of high school left. So she's obviously matured as much as everyone else has, and I feel like this is the best time to tell her because we're still in school, like we're still close. Because it would be very weird to like tell her like halfway through the semester when I'm in college, like on the phone or whatever. Oh yeah, and by the way, there's rumors. Yeah, I'm gay. That's something that needs to be done when you know someone really well, and you can be there in person to make sure that it's not a big disaster. So yeah, does that say 36 now? 36. Wow. My parents will probably actually be coming home pretty soon, and I definitely should go to bed. Wow. Yeah, it's even later than I thought it was. So, yeah, I'm really glad that I like ripped the band-aid off finally, because that was something that I was dreading doing for like a really long time, and there was not ever a reason that like she really needed to know, because it just isn't relevant. Although because I was such a mess and like needed to talk to someone that much yesterday, the truth came out, and I mean, even though I told like white lies about like the specifics, about like exactly how comfortable I am with it, exactly how many people know, how it like got out into the school in the first place, which is something that still angers me profusely. But I have tried to make up with like the person who just like get to a point of like neutrality with her, the person who also contributed to like spreading it around the school, before I was ready to say so myself. I was prepared to, after my sophomore year, I like made an announcement on social media, and there was someone, well, it was more than one person. However, there was someone who was like really good at reading people, so or also it could have been that like things get more obvious like the more I try to suppress them, which sucks, but I feel like that's pretty standard for most people too. When my hair is awful, I was wearing a hat all day. Now it's all fucked up. Oh yeah, so it got out before I was ready for it too, and through people, first like just ones who were intentionally being dicks, but then like later on people who were like, I can't believe you don't know this. She heard many times that I was gay, but I had always told her like, no, don't believe them, and like, you know what, like how horrible of things some people say about like other kids here, and it's something that sucks. Although it's like as stupid as them to like be talking about it as it is for me to not have just told her about it sooner. But like I said, there's not anything that can be done to like fix that I didn't tell her before, and it seems like now was the best time. So all in all, it went like a lot better than I thought it would, and I'm glad that we got to have that conversation, and that she, you know, she's really there for me as a friend still, and I'm really grateful for that. So that whenever I am a dumpster fire, if talking to the fucking wall, this camera, or my journal. Where's my laptop? Oh, there it is. I was actually going to talk about stuff in here like after, but I kept losing my place, and that ended up taking 45 minutes. So I'm glad that like I have someone else I can talk to, because like this person who I would want to talk to the most would be is my best friend, and I've whenever I'm with him, it's like always like on a weekend, or I'm never like right in the heat of like some super like colossal meltdown, and I don't really like talking on the phone to anyone. So the people that this gets ranted to is normally those two other people, and then my Mormon friend. But with her, I've always like kept like a lot like restrained, and just like generally like uglier features of my personality and like my being. I like my sense of humor gets dialed back by like 10 notches, but then everything else is just like shown through a different lens, I guess. So now she's more aware of shit that like I never wanted to tell her, but like the cat's out of the bag, and I forget where else was going to fall out for the end. But yeah, I should go to bed now, and you're probably tired of hearing me say 3 words per minute and then spend the rest of the time looking into space and like long pauses like that and stuff. So see ya.